Peace be to you. This is Bishop Fulton Sheen talking.
Every act of kindness creates a
And
ripple.
this will be the beginning of over 24 hours of talking. Women are accused of doing all the talking. This is to prove that men do their share.
Even in the darkest valleys.
I remember some years coming back from Europe, and the steward came out on the deck of the ship, and he said, "Are you Bishop Sheen who gave the mission sermon at St. Patrick's Cathedral 2 years ago?" "Yes." He said, "That was a wonderful sermon. I enjoyed every minute of that hour and a half." I said, "My good man, I never talked an hour and a half in my life."
Fill the sacks and place
Well, he
my
said, "It seemed that long to
divination
me."
cup in Benjamin's
Now, this will well be over that hour and a half. And we have had alternatives in making these discs.
It's all right.
One alternative would be
I have you now.
to write out everything that I was going to say to you, and then read it to you. The other alternative would be to study, to meditate, and then to talk out of the fullness of my heart without notes. That is the way that I have chosen to do. Now, this second method has many imperfections about it. There will be faults, there will be mistakes. I will miss a word here and there. And I am absolutely sure that there will come a moment in your life, and in listening to these records, that you had wished that I had read it. You will be somewhat in the position that God must have been in when He made Adam.
Repent ye and believe the gospel.
He looked at Adam and then said,
May this nourish
"I could do better than that."
and soul.
And then He made Eve.
Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow. They neither toil
But
nor
we've
spin.
chosen
Do not
this
worry about
method of the
tomorrow,
open
for tomorrow
discourse
will worry about itself.
in order that we might commune and have an encounter one with another. And the subject, in general, will be the philosophy of life. Now, where begin? Well, there are two ways of waking up in the morning. One is to say,
So much devotion.
"Good morning,
So
God."
much beauty.
And the other is to say, "Good God, morning." We are going to start with the second. We will start a long way back. And people who wake up that way
The work
have an
continues.
anxiety about
Souls
life.
are being transformed.
I suppose their life might be characterized in two ways. First of all, to them it seems rather absurd,
A new heaven and a new earth.
and considerable literature is being produced today
See? The very
on the absurdity of life.
My Lord, what can we say? What can we
I
speak?
suppose one of
We
the
are
best
undone.
expressions of that absurdity
Our hope, our future.
was a novel
Savior.
about a city on the other side of the river. And in this particular novel, there were two factories. One factory was on one side of the river,
We are
and the
but
other
a
factory
small
on the other
part of
side.
a grander design. Yet
And the factory on one side of the river took great big stones and smashed and grounded them to powder. Then, when the stones were reduced to powder, they shipped the powder to the other side of the river, where there was another factory that turned them into great big boulders. And the boulders were sent back to the first factory, and so the routine continued. This was to be a literary expression of the way people today regard life. One finds this absurdity often too expressed in the writings of an existentialist who pictured three people in hell. Each one wanted to talk about himself, his own aches, his own pains, and the others were not interested. They were concerned only with their own aches and
You
pains.
seek truth in the darkness, Nicodemus.
And finally, when the curtain goes down,
Your dreams.
the last line of the play is, "My neighbor is hell." Now, this is the way some people live. And along with this sense of absurdity, there is also a drift.
A stranger's unexpected kindness completely restores.
Many minds are like Old
God's
Man
divine
River.
plan. Remember, even in
They
quiet
just keep
moments,
floating along.
grace abounds, lighting our path.
No goal,
Even
just a kind of an arrow without a target,
Hold stillness
pilgrims
will help.
without a shrine,
You're going to be all right.
journeys at sea without any
Close
kind of
your
a
eyes
port.
with fervor, embracing the calling to uplift.
Now,
our
what
world.
is the common conclusion of people who wake up
Another
and
day,
say this?
another step.
Good
into the
God,
new.
morning. I think the common characteristic of them all is life has no meaning. It is without purpose, without goal, without destiny. I remember when I first went to Europe to study as a young priest. I was following courses
Verily, verily,
during the summer at the Sorbonne in Paris, principally in order to learn French.
let his light illuminate your path, even.
And I dwelt in a
shadow.
boarding house that belonged to a certain woman whom we will call Madame Citron. I was there about a week. And she came to me and said something, but it was all French to me. You get so angry in Paris because the dogs and the horses understand French, and you don't. Well, there were 3 women school teachers that were living in the boarding house from Boston, and I asked them to act as an interpreter. And this was the story that came out. She said that after her marriage, her husband had left her.
For joy, beloved, is a true.
A daughter that was born to them became a moral wreck in the streets of Paris. And then she pulled out of her pocket a small vial of poison. She said, I do not believe in God. Sometimes the thought comes to me that there is a God, and then in case there be one, I curse him. So I've decided, simply because life has no meaning and is absurd, to do away with it. I intend to take this tonight.
So many years.
Can you do anything for me? Well, through the interpreter, I said, I can't if you're going to take that stuff. So I asked her to postpone her suicide for 9 days. I think it's the only case on record of a woman postponing a suicide for 9 days. But I never prayed before in my life as I prayed for that woman. And on the 9th day,
Find
good Lord
true
gave her
freedom,
great grace.
a message for your soul.
Some years later, on the way to Lourdes, I stopped off at the city of Docks,
Jesus.
where I enjoyed the hospitality of Monsieur, Madame, and Mademoiselle Citron.
Today you will be with me in paradise.
And I said to the village cure, are the Citrons good Catholics? Oh, he said, it's wonderful when people keep the faith all during their lives. He did not know the story. So it's possible to find one's way out of this absurdity. But now let's come to a question
May his
which
peace
interests
be with
all
you
psychiatrists
now and
and interests all of us. What is the difference between a normal and an abnormal person?
but you are welcome to them.
The difference is this. A normal person always works toward a goal or a
Each
purpose.
bloom, a testament.
The abnormal person looks for escape mechanisms,
Thank you kindly. It smells.
Excuses.
It smells wonderful.
rationalizations, in order to avoid discovering the meaning and purpose of life. That is the difference.
Those shipwrecks.
The normal person sets for himself a target. For example, in this life, a young man might want to be a doctor or a lawyer. But beyond that, there's something else. Suppose you ask, what do you want to do after you become a doctor?
The Spirit.
Well, I want to marry. And then raise
burns
children.
within us.
And then be happy. And then make money. Give money to my children. And then there comes a last. And then. The normal person knows what that and then is. The abnormal person, however, is locked up within the barrel of his own ego. He's like an egg. He's never been hatched.
Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
Morning.
He refuses to submit himself to a certain amount of divine incubation in order to arrive at a different life than he has.
Listen, you rebels. Must we bring you water?
Now, what are some of the escapes of the abnormal person? Because that's the way he spends his time. If he wants to go, for example, from New York to Washington,
May this nourish bod and soul.
he isn't concerned about Washington. He's concerned about giving excuses why he doesn't go to Washington.
In every shared meal, He is present.
Now, just to mention a few of these escape mechanisms of the abnormal person. One, love of speed.
Elias, do you love me more than these?
Yes, Lord, you know that I love you.
I believe that an excessive love of speed, or should I say, a love of excessive speed, is due to a want of a goal or purpose in life.
This cannot stand.
So they do not know where they're going, but they certainly are on their way.
It is I. Do not be afraid.
And there may even be an unconscious or half-conscious desire to end life, because it is without purpose. Another escape would be sex, throwing oneself into business
A king's
in an
cry
abnormal kind of way,
of unimaginable pain.
in order to have the intensity of an experience atone for a want of goal or purpose. One of the very famous psychiatrists, Dr. Young,
Saul, Saul, why do you
said that after 25 years of experience of dealing with mental patients,
Who are you, Lord? Peace. Be still.
I would say that at least 1/3 of my patients had no observable clinical neurosis, but all of them were suffering from a want of the meaning and purpose of life. And not
Come,
until they
all who
discover
seek
that
solace, all who yearn for belonging, you
will they ever be
are
happy.
welcome here.
In other words, the vast majority of people today are suffering from what might be called an existential neurosis. The anxiety and the problem of living. The answering of the question, what is it all about? Where do I go from here? Now how find it?
For this abundance, we are truly grateful.
I know what you're thinking. Now you're thinking, now he's going to tell us to get down on our knees and pray to God. No, I'm not. I may say that a little later on, but I'm not going to tell you that now. And why? Because people who have
Go forth,
an existential neurosis are too far away from that for the moment. I'm offering two solutions. First, go out and help your neighbor. Those who suffer from an anxiety of life do so because they live only for themselves. Their mind, their heart,
We face, though modern,
each has been
echo
dammed up.
ancient tribulations of the spirit.
And all of the scum of the river of life
I implore you.
Grant me
makes of the heart and mind kind of a garbage. And the easiest way out of this is to love people whom you see. If you do not love those
Before the
whom you see,
rooster crows, you will deny me
how
3
can
times.
you love
I will
God
never deny you,
whom
Lord.
do not see?
I am ready to die for you.
Visit the sick. Be kind to the poor. Help the healing of lepers. Find your neighbor. And the neighbor is someone in need.
See here, son.
Once you do this, you begin to break
This
out of the
is where
shell.
it speaks of strength.
You discover that your neighbor is not hell, as Sartre.
The Pharisee stood
But your neighbor's
and
part of
blessed
yourself.
himself.
God, I
It is a
thank
creature
you
of
that
God.
I am not as other men.
Not very long ago, there was a father brought to me his young son. A very self-wise, conceited, young delinquent who had given up his faith
Therefore, do not be afraid. I will provide for you and your
and was
little
bitter
ones.
with himself and everyone whom he met. The next day, the boy ran away from home. He was away from home for a year. The boy came back as bad as ever. The father brought him to me. I said, "What shall I do with him?" I said, "Send him to school. But not in the United States." So I recommended another school. I do not write and
Commend our
ask him
brother
what that
to
school
God's
was.
eternal care.
I recommended a certain school to him. And about a year later, the boy came back to see me. He said, "Would you be willing to give me moral
This is the
support
moment. Open your
for
heart
an
to
enterprise
full
that I have
complete
undertaken in
and
Mexico?"
transformative message of truth that waits for you.
He said, "There's a group of boys in the college where I am
It is truly a miracle.
who have built a little school.
Simon, son of John.
And we have gone all around the neighborhood and brought in the children to
Yes,
teach them
Lord, you
catechism.
know that I love you.
We have also brought in a doctor from the United States once a year and for 1 month
Do not
to take care of all of the
put
sick
Lord
people
your
of the neighborhood.
God to the test.
And I said, "How did you become interested in this?" Well, he said, the boys went down there during the summer, and I thought I would go
The
down
magic
too.
of Christmas never truly
He recovered his
fades.
faith, his morals, and everything else in his neighbor. It is the poor, the infant, the needy, the sick, fellow creatures of God, who give to us great strength. Some years ago, there was an Indian who went into Tibet. He went in to do a little evangelizing of that unchristian country.
I myself will be surety for him.
And he took with
if I
him
do
a
not bring
Tibetan
him back
guide.
to you, then let me bear the blame forever.
In the course
Master,
of the
put your backs
trip,
into
they
it.
got very
Keep
cold.
moving. We have a deadline to meet.
Foothills in the Himalayas. They sat down, exhausted, almost frozen.
A warm meal,
And this
a little
Indian, whose
comfort
name was Singh,
for you.
said, I think I hear a man moaning down there in the abyss. And the Tibetan said, well, he said, you're almost dead yourself. You can't help him. Singh said, yes, I will help him. So he went down, dragged the man out from the abyss the best he could, and carried him to the nearby village, and came back completely revived.
I am innocent.
Revived by that act of charity.
It is your responsibility.
And when he came back, he found his friend, who refused to aid the neighbor, frozen to death. So the first way to escape the anxiety of life is to find your neighbor. The second way is to leave yourself open to experiences and encounters with the divine, which will come to you from without. I say, leave yourself open. Your eye does not have light. Your ear has no sound or harmony. Food of your stomach comes from without. Your mind has been taught. Your radio pulls in unseen waves.
A new
from the
beginning,
outside.
even in the oldest stories.
I tell you,
Therefore,
I do not
allow
know him. I swear that I do not know
this
this
hole in
man.
your head,
My
this hole in your heart.
my king, my
Receive certain
heart's
impulses
delight.
that come from without.
Our Father who art in
perfect.
heaven, hallowed be thy name.
No matter how far away you be from what I'm talking about, they will still come. I remember once inviting a woman to see me who had just lost her 18-year-old daughter. She was very rebellious, had no faith whatever.
For the King of Kings.
And she said, I want to talk about God. I said, all right, I will talk about him for 5 minutes, and then you talk about him or against him for 45, and then we will have a discussion. Well, I was talking about 2 minutes, and she interrupted me. She stuck her finger under my nose, and she said, listen,
And so,
if God is
it came
good,
to pass.
why did he take my daughter? I said, in order that you might be here, learning something about the purpose and meaning of life. That is what you learned. Found. Discovered. So I am suggesting that you will not just reason yourself
So
into
many
the meaning
lives
and purpose
touched,
of life.
Father.
the work of
You will
compassion
act
never
yourself
ends.
into the meaning and purpose of life. By breaking the shell
It's a tiny world of happiness.
of egotism and selfishness. By cleaning the window, the moral
A
life,
blessing.
allowing the sunshine to come. You would not be speaking to God if you had not already, some way, found it. You are a king in exile.
Though
A
shipwrecked,
king.
hope remains.
Tell you more about
Sleep now, my child. One day, we will be free.